One of the most costly scams in America is now fueled by a pandemic that's making it even more effective. We're talking about romance scams. The Federal Trade Commission says even before COVID hit, a 40% spike last year led to $200 million in losses. And in tonight's special report, a warning: lonely hearts may be even more vulnerable now that scammers have another edge.
This is him down here.
Judy Vaughn just isn't ready to delete these photos from her cell phone. She's saved every message.
James, I will always love you.
Since James Hackett met her online 3 years ago.
We would talk every day, half the night. He was always there to talk to me.
Kind words, even love songs that Vaughn admits filled a hole left by the death of her husband of 38 years. The two exchanged intimate details about their lives as this Anderson grandmother on disability learned Hackett was divorced and serving overseas. Vaughn says about a year into their online relationship, he told her he wanted to start a life with her if only she could pay for his leave. $4,500.
My daughter-in-law looked him up on the computer, and it come up that he was a scammer. That was right at the beginning, and I didn't believe her.
What do you think of that now in hindsight?
I was crazy, you know.
Crazy in love.
Mm-hmm.
Over the next 2 years, Vaughn continued to honor his requests for money, even as the total climbed to $10,000.
I know not to send this money. You're going to send it anyway.
But his lies were catching up, and Vaughn sought the help of socialcatfish.com to figure out who he really was. The company tracked the photos of the man who called himself James Hackett to this real dog trainer in Russia whose identity was stolen.
We've seen an increase across the board of images being stolen from people and people being contacted by scammers.
David McClellan, the president of Social Catfish, warns romance scams are on the rise during the pandemic as more are forced online and scammers have a better excuse not to meet in person. He says many of the con artists live across the world in Nigeria. One scammer from Lagos agreed to talk to us.
I'm not just scamming for just the money. I'm scamming for survival. A friend of mine introduced me to some kind of illegal way of getting money from white people. So I asked him to teach me. I had no choice.
The man, who calls himself Kelly, says they target people online who are widowed or divorced.
You open the dating site, you look for a picture of a doctor from Instagram.
The scammer told us they use a playbook of sorts. Social Catfish obtained this one that teaches others how to lure in their prey. And behind all these come-ons, they've gone high-tech, some changing their IP address to make it look like they're in the U.S.
Or they're buying Facebook accounts that were created 8 years ago, and they're creating these profiles so that, you know, when Facebook has their algorithms and all these different things, they have their guard down.
Vaughn takes responsibility too, but as the saying goes, the heart has reasons that reason doesn't know, and she's just not ready to say goodbye.
There's a part of me that probably still cares for him because he was so nice to me. But as far as love, I can tell him I love him, but no, I don't. Not.
So this is still hard for you?
Yeah, it's still hard, and it'd be hard for anybody.
And it wasn't easy for Vaughn to speak about this, but she does want to prevent others from the same heartache. We do have more on the red flags as well as a link to the catfishing site. Just look for this story on WSVA.com.